It helps if I plug in. Hello, beautiful souls. Wow. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. I have been on a bit of a whirlwind trip across Europe, and here I am. And this is the energy update for May, and I am fellow old soul and empath medium Christine Gold. And really, my purpose in life, in this lifetime, is to guide others like yourself who identify as highly sensitive, as an empath, as an old soul, as a light worker, as a healer, as a spiritual being having a human experience, because that really is why we're here in this lifetime. And each month I dive in. We kind of get a pulse of what's going on for the month of May. And I know I'm not the only person sharing this information. It might just come across a little bit differently. And I'm also going to be sharing something, a bit of channeling, something I haven't done in quite a while. And I will be called to do next weekend. Now, if you are in the Calgary, Canmore, maybe you're in Alberta, I was invited to attend and to speak and to teach a special workshop at the Rockies Restorative Retreat from May 10th to 12th. And I will leave the information below in regards to the retreat. And there is a special code. So if you happen to catch this before that weekend, where you can save a bunch of money if you want to attend the whole weekend, that code I'm also putting in the chat is Christine369. Pretty simple. And I would love to see you there if you've been holding off on doing any type of retreat experience for yourself, maybe for your friends. I mean, this month is also for mothers and Mother's Day and for the heart. So let me know what you're looking forward to in May. And gosh, where do I start? I'm going to start with the channel, and then we're going to go into just breaking things down for May. Then there'll be some cards, but I also want to talk about. I follow a gentleman, and I just saw his post. I think it's Go Off Grid, and really that's what I am welcoming, and the universe is setting up where I'm going to be off grid as well. And I'm not the only person that is looking at really disconnecting from people, places, things that no longer resonate with who you are. I mean, drop a comment below if you're feeling that. And he was talking how Tennessee has put a bill through to stop chemtrails. Now, if you're like, chemtrails, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Um, Whenever you see a plane, I see there's been so much skywriting, as they call it. And this is, something that is done on purpose to leave chemicals in our environment and poison us and poison our food and poison our water and poison our mind, body, spirit. Cloud seeding, as they call it, changing the weather. And I've got a beautiful tinfoil hat. I really don't care what you think, or if you think that's crazy. Go do your own research and find out, because this has been happening for a very long time. And then he's also talking about 5G and EMF. Um, that is, we are energetic beings, and you cannot be affected. I mean, that's why we're finding out there's more sensitivities, there's more intolerances coming up, there's more and more and more, because our avatars, we cannot sustain what they're trying to do to us. And it's, of course, it's cheaper to go 5G, and the government's involved, and the wireless companies. They put so many in the schools. But it is safer to hardwire in and to go the route of the fiber optic. Anyways, let's get into the channel. The monthly overarching energy is conditions. Conditions. So, does the condition of others, the world, yourself have to be perfect for you to be calm, for you to be at peace, for you to be present? Or do you have conditions? And what are they? Who are they? Why? When? What? How? Like we're asking all those questions. Do you have terms and conditions for yourself, for your life? Do you still hold on to outdated contracts? And I'm talking about intergenerational stuff as well, because at any time you can cancel those, right? And if you're like, I have no idea how that's done, join our Soul Healers community and we will show you how. And then you can step into your own authority because that's what it's about. I mean, if anything has shown us since COVID, you are your own authority. No one else. No one else. They will sure try. Believe me, they will sure try. But really, this is about going about the conditions, the terms, your life, your sovereignty, your freedom, right? What are you accepting and what are you not accepting? Are these verbal conditions? Is this on paper? Are you going to be breaking contracts? And May is definitely, I don't know if you felt the shift because April was, with the eclipse and all that. You could say dumpster fire if you want. It was something to behold. And there was a lot of grounding and practices that were happening on the daily, as it should, if not multiple times a day, especially if you're doing this type of work. You absolutely have to. Otherwise, you will vibrate out of all of the work that you've been doing to stay here. You might have times where you lean one way or the other, or you feel like, I just can't handle today. Then don't handle today. Take care of yourself. That's the message. Quit pushing so much. And this is so much a message for me too, not just for you. So May, I felt the complete shift. May is more freedom, that Taurus energy, just complete groundedness, freeing movement, travel, moving homes, moving spaces, places, very nomadic. I definitely felt that in my travels, sometimes sporadic. And the collective is asking us to bring in more writing, more speaking, more art, more creations, creating your own food, your own inner garden, your sanctuary. These are very important times of community. So, the focus is conditions, contracts, and being conscious of those three things. It is Taurus season, so if you're a fellow Taurus, let us know in the chat as well. I'd love to know. Uh, Leave it in the comments. We would love to celebrate your birthday as well. There's a new moon in Taurus, May 8th. There's a full moon in Sagittarius, May 23rd. I believe that's the flower moon. Of course, you'll correct me if if I'm off in any way. So, and I also wanted to bring up there was a song that came through while I was channeling by Carly Simon called Coming Around Again. And what really came through in that song, at first I thought that the song was called Play the Game because in the lyrics, I'll read them to you. I know nothing stays the same, but if you're willing to play the game, it's coming around again. So don't mind if I fall apart. There's more room in a broken heart. The old us would think that if you have a broken heart, you're a victim, your life is terrible, it's awful. What am I going to do? But now we've realized that falling apart leaves more chances for more light, more love, more joy, more compassion, more abundance to come in. You're filling in those pieces of who you truly are. And I really, and then this song is talking about believing in love. I believe in love. I believe in love. I believe in love. So do you believe in love? Do you truly believe in love? Do you truly believe that you are the love of your life? First and foremost, before you're bringing in any partners or any other relationships, you have the most tender, most beautiful, most amazing relationship with yourself. That feels amazing. And I follow, even though he passed not that long ago, um, he was speaking, he had a beautiful he has so many beautiful talks, but this one, they break it down into like a few minutes. So you're not sitting listening for an hour. I understand, we we only have so much time, right? And so many hours in the day. But this one video, yeah, it's about facing death, and it was a teaching by Thich Nhat Hanh through Plum Village, which they still carry on his legacy and his teachings and just the way he speaks. It puts you in such a Zen presence. And maybe you like Eckhart Tolle, or maybe you like someone else. You can just leave that below. But he was talking about the cloud. The cloud does not fear death. The cloud is transformed into rain or into a different cloud or dispersed as a cloud. But the cloud isn't like, oh my God, no, I can't. I'm going to die. I can't do this. The cloud just transforms. So, how, can you transform your life? How can you be more cloud like in a sense? I mean, if you think about meditation, I mean, it's think thoughts, right? I always tell my clients, it's not about not having any thoughts. It's about witnessing the clouds that go by. And therefore, you are transformed by whatever thoughts go by, but you are not attached to those thoughts. It is just a cloud experiencing death and being transformed. Yeah, that is one way to really. And, Deepak Chopra prays every night through, his book, The Quantum Experience, of dying well. Dying well. I mean, who are we to say that we will live forever in this human avatar? Because to experience death is to live forever in a different way, right? So how can you experience that? What does death mean to you? Um, I had no idea what physical death meant until 2021, where I lost 4 people, including my mom and dad. So, and it was a shit show for sure. It was not easy. And it never is. Something worth having is never easy. Something worth loving is never easy. If it was easy, we would all be robots. We're not here to experience nothing. We're here to experience everything. So are you being conditioned by this, or are you living with no conditions, unconditional because that's really what unconditional love means. Love with no conditions. Loving yourself, loving others. And I want to go back to the 5G thing. Um, maybe it's just me, and I know it's not just me. There's many of us who are very sensitive, and being crammed into an airplane with hundreds of people. Oh, I experienced my first 11-hour flight. Let me tell you, that was an experience. And there were a lot of many in the people in that plane were unconscious, if you know what I mean. And I think that's why you see a lot of issues on airplanes. Come on. So before you get onto any airplane, before you leave your house, before you do anything, are you protecting yourself? Are you grounded? Are you cleansing and, as I say, zip up your aura, your auric field? It's important. It's not some woo woo crazy thing. And if it is, you got some work to do. That's all I have to say about that. If you're dismissing that, why are there conditions around that? Right? Is it based in science? Nope. Doesn't have to be. What's your evidence? How I feel. That's my evidence. What's yours? What's yours? Never complain and never explain. That is a great way to live. And that's the only way to live because you don't owe anyone any explanations. And if you're complaining, then you're not living in gratitude and you're being pulled into the matrix. All right. So I've got my inspirational card for the month. Set goals and then demolish them. Set goals and then demolish them. So, what goals do you have for this month? I know for myself, maybe I'll inspire um, more in person events, more face to face teachings, workshops, connections, community. That's what's really important, and inspiring others to speak and to share their stories. Everyone has a book inside of them, whether they write it or not. And they have possibly written already in a past lifetime, right? So don't just have these airy fairy ideas. I mean, I get lots of ideas. It's a matter of putting them into action. And as you do so, like I said, that retreat fell on my lap, but I put that out into the universe that my goal is every month to have one in person and one online. And it feels very balanced, especially with the Taurus energy. So, how can we balance, but we are also welcoming abundance because Taurus is about money and energy as well. So, and being very grounded in the goals that you choose. And as the universe would like to say, one up yourself. We tend to think small. So, what's something big in your life that you keep putting off? Why? And don't tell anybody about your dreams either. Keep them to yourself and share in a community that will not only inspire, but will hold your feet to the fire and saying, why are you not doing that? I love doing that. I feel that's why my clients love the coaching that I bring in as well because you bring me one problem and we'll have it solved in 3 sessions. That's a guarantee because I'm not going to be a licensed psychologist, psychiatrist, and I'm not calling them out and saying don't go to them. What I'm saying is if you're in talk therapy for years and you haven't solved anything, They're just taking your money and you're allowing them to do so. So what are you getting out of that too? Just someone to listen to you and then nothing gets solved? No. I don't work that way anymore. All right. For your first week in May, 7 of Wands. 7 is a fire energy. Fire, fire, fire. We're talking about fire signs, we're talking about action. 7 is really about challenges and grounding yourself and protecting yourself. I already talked about that. Movement, growth, innovation, feeling vulnerable. Share your ideas and be self-expressive. Do you see where that light is emanating out of her? That is from the solar plexus. As above, so below. She is maintain and this bubble is her aura. Hello. So, the first week of May, protection, going back to your grounding practices, practicing grounding, being expressive, really living in your sphere, your of who you truly are, a beautiful soul. So that's the first week. Hi, Cher. Nice to see you here. Thank you so much. Just strolling and scrolling. And you found me. Well, spirit delivers. Whenever I stumble across a video, it's because my collective team is saying, "Hey, you need to listen to this or watch this," and you may not know why. You will later, and that's all that matters. That you actually followed the breadcrumbs. I love that. All right, week 2, 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is emotional energy. And you can see she's walking away. What are we walking away from? What are we no longer tolerating? What are you tolerating? Have there been conditions placed in your life that you maybe have done or others have done? And you see she's walking away towards the light. So, when you're protecting, in the first week, you will realize all these choices are going to move you towards walking away from something and going into your next. Your next. What is the next? The next is the third week. Number 10, major arcana of the wheel. The wheel is about completions, endings, cycles. So once you're walking away from something, you're inviting that wheel energy. And really it's a beautiful energy. I mean, just think about circles and cycles, fate, destiny, lucky breaks, karmic lessons. There is chaos in creation. Serendipity. How can you live in the most serendipitous life? And do you see the yin and yang in this as well? As above, so below. Hold in the tree pose, baby. I feel this is very Taurus energy too. This is quite grounded. And the last week of May, we're just speaking about yin and yang, another major arcana of the Chariot. The Chariot, action, movement, fast movement, travel, a lot of traveling, victory, confidence, willpower, harnessing. Really, this is about becoming the person that you want to be. This is a magical time for taking inspired action. And it is card number 7. And the beginning of the week is card number 7. So we've got 2 sevens here, 7, 8, and 10. If you follow numerology as well and like numbers like I do. So these might be call outs for you as well throughout the month. And again, he's on top. Do you see him on top? They're moving fast, but he's like, I got this. I'm totally grounded. So, in fact, I see a lot of grounding and being on top of things at in the later in, like, the last half of the month. The first half is all about really releasing and letting go of those eclipse energies from April and all that chaos, and transforming that chaos into inspired action and goals, walking away from old. This is old energy. Eight of Cups is old. Something that no longer serves you, and it could be a person too. I always say people, places, or things. So interesting first half, and look at the cards. The first two, I seeing a lot of reds and blues, and even in the last half, red and blue. Red and blue, and then we've got yin and yang, black and white. So those are your cards for the month. And of course, I will leave timestamps at the end of this video so you can follow along. And thank you so much for joining my channel. Please subscribe and do all those beautiful things. Share with others. Comment below what really stood out for you and what you'd like to see for future videos. I have 850 videos on this channel. So if you're like, well, what about spirit guides? Go look it up. I have it there. What about, I don't know what clairvoyance is or claircognizance, or what is an empath? What is a narcissist? Why should I pray? Hey, Matt, I cover all of those topics and more. I even cover psychedelics. I cover aliens. I cover near death experiences. I cover mediumship. I've covered a lot, is what I'm saying. I'm not just someone that just popped up yesterday. I'm an old soul. In fact, I've been here 44 times. This is my 44th reincarnation. and yeah, and really the lesson, one of many lessons that we're here, Soul's Contract as well, is to learn those lessons and then decide not to have them come up again. And we did come out of the retrograde energy, which is a beautiful time for you to go over those things, revisit, realign, reinvest, reassess, pivot, all of those beautiful things. So I have many events coming up. Feel free to go check out my website. There'll be links below if you'd like to join our Soul Healers community as well, or maybe you'd like to join a mentorship. I would love to have you. And please take care of yourself. And I'm sending you so much love. Please remember, healing begins where the ego ends. Take care.